Hello there and welcome to this video, which is going to be looking at a chemical formula that you need to know for the GCSE examination. We're going to start off looking at the diatomic elements that you need to know. Right, the first thing I'd like you to do is write down the 7 diatomic elements below, and I'd like you to name them. We'll have a look and see if you're correct in a second. So pause the video now. Okay, so if we start off with H2 then, that's hydrogen. I2 is iodine, Br2 is bromine, F2 is fluorine, O2 is oxygen, N2 is nitrogen, and Cl2 is chlorine. So these are the ones you've got to remember that go around in pairs and are diatomic. It's also important to remember that all of these are gases except for bromine, which is a liquid, and iodine, which is a solid. On to part 2 then, and the first section of this is looking at simple molecules. There are 10 molecules that I'd like you to be able to remember, so write each of them down, and if you can name them, pause the video and have a go at it. If not, watch on so you can learn them. So we have H2O is water, CO2 is carbon dioxide, NH3 is ammonia, C60 is Buckminster fullerene, C6H12O6 is glucose, HNO3 is nitric acid, H2SO4 is sulfuric acid, HCl is hydrochloric acid, CO is carbon monoxide, and SO2 is sulfur dioxide. The fullerene and glucose are solid at room temperature, your liquids are water, your gases are ammonia and carbon dioxide, and carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, and your aqueous solutions are your acids, so nitric, sulfuric and hydrochloric acid. Next we're on to a group of molecules called alkanes, which you will learn more about if you're doing the triple, but you still need to know the basic formulas of them. So if we start off with CH4, that's methane, C2H6 is ethane, propane is C3H8, and butane is C4H10. All of these are gases at room temperature. Similar to alkanes, we have alkenes, which are just slightly different in their formula. So we have C2H4, C3H6, and C4H8 that you need to remember. C2H4 is ethene, C3H6 is propene, and C4H8 is butene. All of these again are gases at room temperature. The next group of molecules you need to know are the alcohol groups. We have CH3OH, C2H5OH, C3H7OH, and C4H9OH. CH3OH is methanol, C2H5OH is ethanol, C3H7OH is propanol, and butanol is C4H9OH. All of these are liquids at room temperature. There are 4 carboxylic acids you need to know then: HCOOH, CH3COOH, C2H5COOH, and C3H7COOH. HCOOH is called methanoic acid then, CH3COOH is ethanoic acid, C2H5COOH is propanoic acid, and C3H7COOH is butanoic acid. All of these are aqueous in solution. There are also some key ionic compounds that come up time and time again, and it would be really useful to remember them. So we have NaCl, which is sodium chloride or table salt, MgO, which is magnesium oxide, NaOH, which is sodium hydroxide, CuSO4, which is copper sulfate, Na2O, which is sodium oxide, Na2SO4, which is sodium sulfate, MgCl2, which is magnesium chloride, CuOH2, which is copper hydroxide, and CuCl2, which is copper chloride. Now all of these are solid at room temperature, and most of them will dissolve to become aqueous in solution. Here is a second batch of the ionic compounds that you need to know. So Fe2O3 is iron oxide, V2O5 is vanadium pentoxide, Al2O3 is aluminium oxide, KBr is potassium bromide, KCl is potassium chloride, Ki is potassium iodide, and finally BaSO4 is barium sulfate. Again, like with any ionic compound, they're all solid at room temperature, but can dissolve to become aqueous. The final section you need to know then are the ions. NH4+ is our ammonium ion, H+ is our hydrogen ion, Cu2+ is our copper ion, Fe3+ and Fe2+ are both iron, OH- is a hydroxide ion, NO3- is a nitrate ion, CO3- is a carbonate ion, and SO4- is a sulfate ion. Okay, let's have a look at a few questions then. Obviously you do need to learn all of these, but these are just a few examples of the ones you do need to learn. So have a look at the 3 questions, which is looking at the formula for the ions, molecules and the ionic compounds. Pause the video, have a go at the question, we'll see how you've done in a minute. Okay, so ammonium then is NH4+. Hydrogen you should have got was H+. Iron 3, the 3 means it's got 3+ in there, so Fe3+. Sulfate, SO4- Carbon dioxide should be nice and simple, CO2. Buckminster fullerene, C60. Nitric acid, HNO3. Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. And chlorine, Cl2, remembering that it's diatomic. Question 3, so we've got sodium chloride, NaCl. Sodium oxide, Na2O. Copper hydroxide, Cu in brackets OH2, iron oxide Fe2O3, and then finally barium sulfate BaSO4. Okay, that is everything that you do need to know then on recalling chemical formula. There are a few review questions here. Obviously don't just learn these ones, make sure you learn all of them. And that ends this video. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click on the subscribe button down below, visit the website, and you can find me on Facebook and Twitter.